help, or what is it called? It's a button. Where do you get the tutorial? It's either, I can't think of the name of it right now, but it talks about help the student or need help or something like that, and then print the entire assignment. Now, I've already went through and done it, so some of you that can break an amble with a banana, it works. I've already had a couple of students do it outside of class, so please don't email me and say you can't do it. Just go to another computer. Of course, you can't print from your phone unless you hooked up to the wireless. So please don't break an amble with a banana. All right. If you want to review your test, you go to the upper right-hand corner after you hit review, upper right. I'll just show you because I can't remember the name of the icon. So I'm sorry. So I'm gonna use Mr. King if he don't mind. Do you mind, Mr. King? You got all good grades. So I'm going to hit Mr. King's, and this is what it looks like. This is what your grade book looks like. So I hit review, upper right-hand corner. What does it say? It says submit, no, question help. That's it. Question help. Click on it and print test with correct answers. Now, I'm sorry. I don't know how else you can review for a test. I mean, that's pretty simple. So don't screw it up. You missed that question, really? Can't believe you missed that question.
I know. I looked back and I missed it by 0.01 and I don't know how.
Okay. Probably rounding. Okay. Let's see.
I don't even think it's a rounding thing. I just don't think I was paying attention.
Okay. That's not bad. You got it within. Okay. That's okay. I thought you put 47 or something.
Yeah. Okay. I was a little disappointed in myself when I saw that.
That's all right. That's all right. You're going to have a good office. You're going to have a nice office one day. Okay, so let's get started. And I've finished doing that. Does anybody have any questions about the last week of class? Now remember, final exam, we already talked about this. You have 2 attempts. Takes the highest of the 2. You've got 2 hours. And I think there's 33 questions. I think 30 or 33, something like that. Okay, and I can't think of anything else. The last test, now the dates, how do you find the dates? You go on My Labs Plus or My Labs Math, and it'll tell you what dates. Okay, any questions? Anybody got any questions about the final or the last test? Okay, now let me go ahead and give you the last formula for 9.1. I want to go ahead and give it to you right now, so we'll have it under your belt. And it is the N formula, and to save time, I was going to give it to you. There it is. So I'm going to just fold this in half. I'm trying to save a little bit of time so I can go over questions, so I'm just going to give it to you like that. Now, when do you use this? You use this when the question says, how many do you need to survey? How many do you need to survey? That's what N is. In other words, the question may read, blah, 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 95% confidence level. How many people do you need to poll? How many people do you need to survey? I'm sorry, I got my fan on my AC unit. I'm still working on my AC unit. $10,000. Oh God, I don't think I'm ever. My Dogecoin won't go up quick enough, but it is up to 31 cents, so I'm happy about that. If it would just hit, $10 or $100, I could retire. But I'm still waiting for it to do that. Any Dogecoin people out there? No, y'all
Yes.
probably invest in Tide Pods.
I have some.
Who's that? Somebody said something.
Glenn?
You said what? Do you got Dogecoin?
Yes.
How much? Oh, good. When did you buy in?
Oh God.
You remember how much it was?
It was probably about a year ago.
Oh, well, you got in at 0 cents though, didn't you?
Yeah. It was,
Oh, I did too.
pretty cheap.
Yeah. I got in at 0 cents too. So I bought some at 0 cent, then I bought some at 3 cent, then I bought some at 9 cent, then I bought some at like 23 cent because I didn't know what it was going to do. Now I'm starting to see the pattern. It'll go up, then it'll consolidate, then it'll go up, then it'll consolidate. So I'm just going to keep it in there and try to forget about it because some of these people, they sell off so quick. All right, everybody got this? Now, note, if P hat is not given in the problem, this is important. I'm going to put red around this. If P hat is not given in the problem, then use 0.5 and 0.5. Now, I will tell you this right now. This and some of your homework questions is going to be B. Does everybody understand that? In other words, you'll have a homework or a test question. In the first part, A, they will give you a P hat. And B, they'll say, what if you did not have a critical value? And then you would use 0.5. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you that right now. All right. Everybody understand? Everybody got their index cards or their sheet with the index cards on it? I meant the 90 through 99%. I forgot to ask you, Miss Gravina, are you in your study? I see your books behind you. Are you in your study today?
No, this is our old playroom.
Ah, okay. You just got books in your playroom. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here we go. I'm going to give you an example of, let's go with, given a margin of error equals 3%, and given a 90% confidence level, and P is equal to 0.824. Now, I want to say some things here. I'm not going to write all the words like in the paragraph. I'm just going to talk about these three things. This may be given as a percent, or it may be given as a what? A decimal. The decimal is what you're going to use in the formula. Write that down. You can't use percent in a calculation. You have to change it to a decimal. Sometimes the question will give you 3%. Sometimes it will give you 0.03. 90% confidence level. Somebody give me that on your index card. Give me the Z-score.
1.64.
1.6. Put a 5 on that. I've noticed in some of the questions that I've done, they want 1.645. Don't ask me why. I think it's because the 90% is between two of the areas on the table, and that's why they put the 5 there. Okay? And if p hat is equal to 0.824, what is q hat? Where is my pink? There it is. What is q hat?
Is it 0.176?
I'm going to take your word for it. Okay, now what do you do? What's the only thing you can do now? Come on, people.
Plug it in.
Plug in what? I want you to say it so you remember it.
Chug.
Plug and chug. So do it. And this is a test question. I'll give you 3 or 4 of these. I'll give you 3 or 4 of the margin of error. I'll give you 3 or 4 of the build a confidence interval, and I'll give you maybe 1 or 2 of what is p hat and q hat. That's it.
Priority 1 message coming in on secured channel.
Ah, 31 cents. Damn Russians. And as soon as all this cryptocurrency goes up, what does the president, no, I'm not going to say the president, what does the idiot do up there at the White House? Changes the, what do you call it? Oh gosh, I done forgot it. Capital gains to 50%. Thanks a lot, asshole. All right, so equals 0.824 times 0.176 over 1.645 divided by 0.03 raised to the 2nd power. Now, do you think people will mess this up? Oh, hell to the yeah. Okay? Why? Because they don't know how to type it in. And you think I'm just talking about 120? I'm talking about calculus. If Mr. Poor was here, he visited the class before class. For some of y'all that don't know what I'm talking about, he would tell you that some people in calculus don't know how to use their calculator, which is not a bad thing, okay? Because some people can twirl them calculators around on their finger like a basketball, and that's not good because they have no common sense. So I'm going to pull up the handy dandy calculator. What does please excuse my dear Aunt Sally tell us to do?
Parentheses first.
Thank you. Was that Miss Glenn again?
Yes.
Miss Glenn, you know you're coming out of the closet. You're coming out of the janitorial office. You know that, don't you?
Well,
coming
now
out.
he's almost over and I can finally breathe.
Well, is that what it is?
I'm dying, honestly, and I don't know how anybody does it. I'm thinking about quitting nursing school. It's crazy.
No, don't do that.
So
You done
dramatic.
made it through 120. Do you know
I
there's
know.
one class? There's one class on campus, the 120. They started with 30, and you know how many they got left?
How many?
3.
Wow.
That teacher should be fired. This is one of the attrition classes there are. If you are teaching a probability of statistics class and you have attrition like that, I'm sorry, you can't teach worth a damn. I mean, I'm
I
sorry.
absolutely hate math, and this is the easiest math class I've been in.
Well, I'm glad that you made it through this class. Good job. All right, so here we go. 1.645 divided by 0.03 equals, and then I'm going to raise that, hit the caret symbol, to the second power, and multiply that by 0.824. Does it matter which order I type in the decimals? Can I type in 0.176 first? Yeah, because multiplication 2 times 3 is the same as 3 times 2. So 0.176, doesn't matter which order. Now you have to type in the right numbers, but I could put the 0.176, I could put it in front. I could put the 0.824 back here at the end, as long as I put multiplication and enter. Now, write down that decimal, unless, and I'm going to write this down for y'all because you need to remember this. The answer, this is not the answer. It's equal to 436.04. 436.04. How many of you have ever seen 0.04 people? Poor old Horatio.
Priority 1 message coming in on secured channel.
Unless it's 0.00, unless you get 436.00, you round up. So that means my 436 is going to be 430 what? 7. Okay, now if this was 436.00, then I would leave it as 436. But if you have a decimal, I don't care how small it is, you raise it up to 437. Now, what's one of the rules of life I've given you besides, nothing is free, and give you all, there's about 5 of them, but number 3 or 4 is you get out what you put in. Some of the lazy people don't like that saying, but it's very true. Okay, so in the real world, would I do 437 or would I do 450 or 500 people? I would do 500 probably. If I was in the real world, by the rule of large numbers, if this thing kicked out 437 in the real world, I'd probably survey 500 people. Okay, rule of large numbers dictates the more people you interview or poll, the better your math. Same thing with tires, same thing with CDs. If you're, quality assurance, you don't want to pick just 437. I mean, that's the answer. That's the minimum. Okay. But somebody that's worth their salt, somebody that wants to do a good job, will probably do 450 or 500. Everybody understand that? Okay, so this is the answer. But this is what the real world you would probably do. Lazy ass, they would do 200. Okay, they wouldn't even do the minimum. They would do half of that, and it would bite them eventually. All right, everybody got it? Anybody got a question? Okay, now that's the last question of 9.1 that I will ask, and it will ask what is in, or how many people, or how many surveys are you going to send out? And in this case, for a 90% confidence level and a 3% margin and a 0.82 probability that they will respond or whatever, I'm going to interview at least 437 people. I'm going to poll 437 people. I'm going to pull at least 437 tires. I'm going to pull at least 437 CDs. Okay, that's the minimum. In the real world, I would probably pull 500. All right, let's do one of your homework problems. Let's go to your handy dandy homework. Did we do some problems the other day? You remember? Everybody remember? Does anybody remember which we went up to? What number we went? Oh, well, there it is. Okay, let's see what this one is. Okay, go ahead and look at this one. I have no idea. I haven't done it, so let me blow it up for you. There you go. Write the question down so I'm not going to worry about the Philadelphia lawyer question. I want you to be able to do the math. In a survey of 2,075 adults, God, I wonder what that number is. I bet that's a number we can write down. In a certain country, period of economic uncertainty, 61%. That's something I can write down. That wages paid to blah, 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 blah. The margin of error was 2%. That's a number I can write down. With a 90% confidence level. Well, heck, I got 4 things I can write down. So I write them down. Okay, it says the margin of error was 2 percentage points with 9% for parts A through D, which represents the interpretation is reasonable. Okay, what does that mean? Well, if you had, 110% here, that would not be reasonable. If you had 51 percentage points, that would not be reasonable. You want a low percentage, and you want, 0 to 100 right here. What about a 100% confidence level? No, that's unobtainable. I would not go with a low confidence level. So most of this is pretty much reasonable. It says right here, in 90% of the samples of adults in the country during the period, blah, 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 the proportion who believed wages paid to workers in the industry were too low is between 59% and 63%. Why is that not reasonable? No, it is reasonable because 61 is between 59 and 63. Interpretation is flawed. Oh, I see what they're saying. This is a Philadelphia lawyer question. The intervals, they believe that the interval set. What did I tell you sets the standard for the question? What sets the standard? I just highlighted it. I need somebody to tell me what I just highlighted.
90% confidence.
The confidence level, write that down again. The confidence level dictates the question, not the confidence interval. This is the confidence interval. Okay, are they going to ask us to do some math or what? Okay, we're going to do math anyway. Let's do N. Okay, so I don't know what they're asking, so we're going to go ahead and do it. So I'm going to write down what's given in this question that's important. And you should have it already written down. What is 2,075? What letter is 2,075?
N.
N, because it's the what? It's the biggest number. And it says in a survey. In a survey of that many people. Okay, we already got N. So I don't know what else we can get. This is a stupid question. All right, P is equal to 0.61. Therefore, somebody calculate Q for me. P hat, sorry. And I've lost my pink pen. There we go. What is Q hat? One minus 0.61 is what? 0.39, Hubert. Thank you, class. Appreciate y'all's interaction. What else? A confidence level, 90% confidence level. Somebody read that on your index card for me, please. 1.645. Is y'all's microphones working or what? Or y'all just decided not to talk to me? Okay, that's it. Now, they've already given us everything, so this must be just a Philadelphia lawyer question. Oh, margin of error. Margin of error is 0.02. So they have given us everything, so this must be like a Philadelphia lawyer question. So write down these answers so you'll get it. The interpretation is flawed because the interval does not dictate the problem. The confidence level dictates the problem. We are 88% to 92% confident. No, that's the that's not right. 61%. No, that's not right. The interpretation indicates the level of confidence is varying. The level of confidence does not vary at all. The level of confidence is right there, 90%. Boom. Now, this one should say that the confidence level dictates the problem. We are 90% confidence that the interval from blah, blah, blah is a true proportion of blah, 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 blah. Yes, they're right there. We are 90% confident the interpretation is reasonable. Is this a test question? Hail to the no. It is not a test question. All right. In 90% of samples of adults in the country during blah, 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 we are 90% confident, that's what that says, between 0.59 and 0.63, true. Okay, but the interpretation suggests that the interval sets the standard. Okay, right here, in 90% of samples of adults in the country during the period of economic, okay, this went from a survey of 2,075 to everybody in the what? Country. All right. So it might have been everybody in the area, everybody in the county, everybody in the city, everybody in the, in the geographic area. Okay, that does not dictate the nation. Okay, and that's what they're saying right here. All right, so that's a nice little question that doesn't tell you really anything. So let's move on. Thank goodness. Here's one that we can actually do the math. A random sample N of 1,001 adults in a certain large country was asked, do you pretty much think televisions are necessary or a luxury you could do without? Of the 1,001 N surveyed, 539X indicated that televisions are a luxury they could do without. Complete parts A through Z below. So N is equal to 1,001. X is equal to 539. Do we have a confidence level? Yes or no? Come on, people. It's just a yes or no question. Look at the sentence. Do we have
No.
a confidence level? What?
No.
No.
No, we don't. So therefore, the only thing we can do at this point is find P hat and Q hat because we don't have a confidence level. We don't have a margin of error. So we really can't do anything. The only thing we can do at this point is find P hat, which is X over N, which we've already talked about that, which is 539 over 1001. Somebody give me 2 decimal points, please.
0.54.
Therefore, P hat or Q hat equals 1 minus 0.54. And that's equal to what? 0.46? Somebody check me, please.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Okay, so that's the only thing that we can do for A is find P hat and Q hat. Let's see what they ask for. Okay, somebody give me 3 decimal points. Of course, if I ask for 3, they're going to ask for 2. So what is the 0.54? What is the 3rd decimal point?
It's 0.538.
0.538. And if they ask for Q, that's going to be 0.462. Somebody check me on that. All right, so I'm going to type in 0.538. And they're probably going to ask for all this crap. All right, so we got to do all this. The sample is stated to be a simple random sample. The sample right here, see there, random sample. Okay, is stated to be a random sample. The value of P hat is, and I guess we do what we just said, 0.538, which is, no, this is NPQ right here. Somebody multiply NPQ, please. I need you to multiply 1001 NPQ is equal to 1001 times 0.538 times 0.462. Somebody give me that number, please. This is a little test that you have to do. I don't really cover this very much. Somebody give me that number. 1001 times 0.538 times 0.462. Okay, it shouldn't take that long on a calculator. I'll do it. 1001. Appreciate y'all's cooperation. 0.538 times 0.462. I don't blame you, Miss Glenn. I wouldn't answer all the questions either. These people that are weaned on a pickle, they don't pull their weight. 248.8.
Priority 1 message coming in on secured channel.
Okay, so is 249, 248.8, which is greater than 10. That's the test. NPQ has to be greater than 10. This is the test to make sure you can do this, but they usually don't give you one that you can't. And the sample size, I think, can be assumed to be less than or equal to 5% of the population. That should be right if I remember the test. I can't remember the test very well. The sample size can be assumed to be less than or equal. What's 5% of 1,000? Well, 10% of 1,000 is what? 100? Yes, that's right. So if 10% of 1,000 is 100, 5% would be 50. So is our sample size more than 50? 539, is it? Yes, it's above 50. Okay, so I think that's right. Yeah. I hate those questions. All right, now here's a test question. Write that down, write C down. And I'm gonna leave this so you can write it down so you can, do the answer if you need to. There you go. You can write that down because that's usually going to be, that number right there is going to change. But other than that, the rest of it's the same. All right, 95% confidence level. So somebody give me the 95% confidence Z, please, from your index card. I don't have the index card. So somebody needs to
1.96.
say it one more time.
1.96.
1.96. Okay. And it says construct and interpret a 95% what? Confidence what? Interval. So you're going to need margin of error. Confidence interval means find the margin of error. So we got to find MOE. And then we got to build a confidence interval. So go ahead and plug and chug to find the margin of error while I write down the formula. Margin of error is equal to Z sub alpha over 2 times, now I don't use the radical, so I'm going to raise it to the 0.5 power, P hat Q hat over N. I think that's right, isn't it? Okay, so I want y'all to plug and chug. 1.96 times 0.4538 times 0.462 over 1001 raised to the 0.5 power. And what only thing I did was plugged and what? Plugged and chugged. So take your handy dandy calculator, and I'm going to do 0.538 times 0.462 equals divided by 1001 And I'm going to raise that to the 0.5 power. And I'm going to multiply that by 1.96. There is our, I'm going to take the 4 digits. So 0.0309 or 3.09%. In statistics, I don't care if you're on national TV or if you're in the boardroom of a hospital staff. Anything 3% or below, write that down in red. Anything 3% or below is good. 3% or below is good, margin of error. And now we're going to build our confidence interval. And that's real easy because you've been doing that since chapter 3. P hat is in the middle. You just write P hat. And then over here we add, to the right we add. So that's going to be 0.538 plus 0.0309 and 0.538. What do we do on the left side? Do we add or subtract?
Subtract.
Subtract 0.0309. So P hat
Priority 1 message
is
coming in on
between,
secured channel.
okay, this is going to be 0.5689. Somebody check my math, please.
That's right.
And somebody do this right here. 0.49 or 0.5089.
It's 0.5071.
Say 150 what?
71.
Thank you. And that right there is your confidence interval. So I'm going to highlight that in green because that's your confidence interval. That's what you're wanting to be able to find. Remember, this right here is your confidence what? I want you to actually say it. I want somebody to actually say it. Your confidence what?
Level.
Level. That dictates this. So this is very, very accurate because this is close to 100%. Okay, so I want you to, let that sink in. We're going to type in the answer, leave that up there for a few seconds for the one person that watches the video. Okay, so let's go back to the question. We are 90%, 95% confident that the proportion is between, what does it say round to? 3 decimal points? 0.507. Why did I put 507 first? Because which way do we read?
Left to
Say
right.
it.
Left to right.
Left to right. And 0.56, what, 9? It's a miracle. Oh, God. Is it possible that a supermajority, more than 60% of adults, in the country believe the television is a luxury they could do without. Is it likely? Well, 60% is point what? 0.60, right? Does 0.60 fall in there? That's a yes or no question.
No.
Does 0.60 fall in here? No. I would say it's not possible, or no, it's possible but not likely is what I would say, because that's a good statistical term. Because it does not contain, the confidence interval does not contain 0.6. Write that down, because that's a Philadelphia lawyer question. It's got to be between 0.51 and 0.57. Use the results of part C right here, to construct a 95% confidence interval for the population proportion of adults who believe that televisions are a necessity. What does P mean? Hold on, P are a necessity. So you turn it around. I'm not going to do that one because that one seems confusing, but I'll tell you how to do it. In the original equation, in the original question, it asks, and it says, these people right here say that television is not a necessity. These people say that it is a necessity. Does everybody agree with that? Yes or no? Everybody agree with that? I can only see 3 people, so that's going to change next semester. So if we say that P hat is 0.54 and Q hat is 0.46, then what do they want us to do here? They want us to do the same thing. But the only difference is it's going to be like 0.4, the upper bound, so that'll be this. P hat is going to be 0.46. So D, or whatever the E or Z or whatever this one is, instead of, I can't even spell today. Instead of P hat being 0.5 what? What do we say 0.5? I'll just look at my page. This would help if somebody would speak, but that's okay. 0.538. E wants us to use P hat is equal to 0.462. Now, is that going to change the margin of error calculation? Somebody tell me if that's going to change the margin of error calculation, yes or no?
No,
Why?
because it's the same as Q hat.
Because multiplication is what, Ms. Fuller? Commutative. Make sure you put the T in there, because if you say commutative, you're going to have some professor at Clemson chew you out like he did me. Mr. McClure. Commutative means that you're going to catch it from somebody. Sorry. Commutative. Ever since that day, I have always pronounced it commutative. Do not say commutative. All right. So 2 times 3 is the same as 3 times what? 2. So the calculation doesn't matter. This is still going to be the margin of error. Does everybody understand that? So nobody's going to say anything. So P hat for E is going to be 0.462. So 0.462 plus 0.0309. I need somebody to add that up for me. And then 0.462 minus 0.0309. And what's the right-hand side? 0.4929?
Yeah.
And somebody tell me what this is.
.4311.
So this would be the confidence level interval of people who believe it is a necessity. I'm not going to ask you that on a test. Lower bound is 0.431. Upper bound is 0.493. Okay, each one of these, are they, well, they're good test questions individually, but I wouldn't ask this on a test because it's too long. Okay, we finished. Okay, now look, I've done 7 out of 11 questions for your homework. Okay, so everybody should have 100 on their homework. You can do 4 questions or send them to me and I'll try to make a video, okay? Who's got questions? Y'all, it's been a pleasure, especially for those people that talk to me and, visualize themselves. It's been a pleasure. If you need me, I will be, around till, Monday, as far as the test and questions go. If you have one that is giving you fits on the homework, send it to me, okay? Oh, we still got 15 minutes. Y'all are going to let me, we're going to go on. All right, do this one. I looked down at the clock and it ain't 9:25. I thought it was 9. Okay. We're going to forget it. We're going to keep on going. A researcher, okay, this is the question I told you would get on a test right here. A researcher wishes to estimate the proportion of adults who have high-speed internet access. There's your question right there. Everybody see that, what I highlighted? What sample size? That means find N. Should be obtained with a margin of error of 0.03 and a 99% confidence level. So I'm going to let y'all do that one because it's only the N formula. Plug and chug. N. I'm glad I saw the clock because this is a test question. N is equal to P hat times Q hat times Z-score divided by margin of error raised to the second power. And let's see what they've given us. For A, what have they given us? Well, it looks like they've given us P hat. P hat is equal to 0.32. Therefore, Q hat is equal to 1 minus 0.32, which is equal to what? 0.68. What else do they give us for A? 99%. Somebody give me the 99%. Isn't that the 2.48 or 2.68? What is it?
2.58.
What?
2.58.
Thank you. And what else they give us? Margin of error is equal to 0.03. So it looks like to me we're going to just plug and what? Plug and chug. 0.32 times 0.68. Z is 2.58 divided by 0.03 raised to the second power. Of course, I'm going to do that in the calculator. So pull up the calculator, clear. All right, so I'm going to do the parentheses first. 2.58 divided by 0.03. I'm going to raise that to the second power and multiply by, and I'm just going to show you that it doesn't make any difference I'm going to multiply by 0.68 times 0.32. So I just switched it around. Doesn't matter. So Rn is 1609.40, which is going to give us 1610. 1610 is our answer. Now, in the real world, 1650 or 1700 people. But at a minimum, N needs to be 1610. So we punch that in, and we should feel good about ourselves. Now, what does B say? What if she does not have P hat? All right, I want you to do that calculation. I'm going to write it down. What if you don't have P hat? N is equal to P hat, Q hat, Z over margin of error raised to the second power. B. What if you don't have P hat? Now, that's not what the question says. That's what it means. Now, why did I do that? Because sometimes the question ain't worth a crap. Okay? And you have to kind of ad lib to figure out what it means. So therefore, as I told you with the first day, with the first formula, and I can't find my red pen. That bothers me. There it is. P hat is equal to what? 0.5. And Q hat is equal to 0.5. Now, the reason I'm writing that in red is because that is the general rule when you don't have P hat. When you don't have P hat, you use that right there. So, therefore, N is equal to 0.5 times 0.5, which is 0.25. You can, and there are some books that will actually give you another formula that has 0.25 right here instead of just giving you this. I just give you this so you can remember just one formula. And that's going to be, what was it, 2.58 divided by 0.03 raised to the second power. Now, calculate that out. Let's go to our handy-dandy calculator. And we know that 2.58 squared is 7396, right? Is everybody okay with you reusing 7396? Okay, so 7396 times 0.5 times 0.5 or times 0.25, whichever one you want to use. 1849. Do I have a decimal there? No. But there are some books that will want you to go to 1850. So I'm going to put right here 1849. And I'm going to put right here 1850 because you may be, let's say you're on a standardized test and they have 1850 as a multiple choice and you choose 1850. There's some books that round up no matter if you get a decimal or not. This book, I think, only rounds up if you get a decimal. But we're going to find out here in just a second. So go back and 1849. I'm going to put 1849. Yeah. Okay. That right there is a test question. So I'm going to put the first page up again and kind of give you that page. So for the one person that watches the video, you can look at that and pause it and take a picture of it or whatever. And then the second part is we're using 0.5 and 0.5 right there. Okay, so that's the test question. And that's also number what? 9 out of 11? 8 out of 11, excuse me. All right, try this one. And we'll end with this one. A researcher wishes to estimate the percentage of adults who support abolishing the penny. I don't think we should ever abolish the penny. That would cause too much problems. What sample size, N, should be obtained if he wishes the estimate to be within 5 percentage points? In statistics, that's not a good number, but for homework it is, with a 95% confidence level. So let's write down what's given. You write down what's given, and I'll write down what's given for A. So the N is equal to P hat times Q hat times Z score over margin of error raised to the second power. I keep writing that for a reason. It's not for me, but I'll just leave it at that. All right. We've got margin of error given. Margin of error is equal to 0.05. 95% confidence level. Somebody give me that number. Isn't that the one, 1.645? I can't remember. What's 95% confidence level?
$1.96.
1.96. And I think they give us P hat in A. This is A. P hat is equal to 0.36. Therefore, I'm going to do this in, well, pink. Q hat is equal to 1 minus 0.36, which is equal to what? 0.64? All right, I need y'all to plug and chug. N is equal to 0.36 times 0.64 brackets 1.96 divided by 0.05 raised to the second power. And take your handy dandy calculator. I'm gonna try to skinny mine down a little bit. Things I do for y'all. Clear, clear, clear. All right, 1.96 divided by 0.05 raised to the second power multiplied by 0.64 times 0.36. 354 0.04, which is 355. Okay, now the second part of the question is going to be not given P. So let's do that on this side. Right here. So B is going to be what if P hat does not exist? That's another way to write what they write, that you can understand it. Therefore, and yes, I'm going to write this in red again. I have to do this, people. I'm sorry. It's not for my benefit. P hat is equal to 0.5 and Q hat is equal to 0.5. If y'all received some of the emails that I've received asking me questions after I've gone over the same exact question, you know, whether it be calculus or whether it be Math 120, you understand why I keep writing the same thing over and over. So N is equal to 0.5
message coming in on secured channel.
times 0.5 times 1.96 divided by 0.05 raised to the second power. Now see, that doesn't change. So does everybody agree that 1536.64 is right here? So 1536.64 is that. We've done that. So times 0.25. So N is equal to 1536.64 times 0.25. 384.16, which is 385. Now that's a good test question right there, and I even did it on the same piece of paper. So I'm going to leave that on the board there for a second, because these type questions that we just did, these last two, those will be the questions I asked for N on the test. So there's your two test questions right there. The one we did just before this one and this one. So let's see what the answers are. N is equal to 355. And N is equal to 385. That's it. Now, we'll start. We only got like 3 minutes. I'm not going to do this problem because you need to be able to do 2 problems out of the homework. So I'm gonna leave the last 2 problems of the homework for y'all to do. In a poll, 69% of the people polled answered yes to a question: are you in favor of the death penalty for a person that's convicted of murder? The margin of error was 2%, and the estimate was made to be 0.94, a 94% confidence level. At least how many people were surveyed? Another N question. So we're going to set it up, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to set it up. So N is equal to P hat times Q hat times Z-score over MOE raised to the second power. Okay. P hat is equal to what? That means I want somebody to tell me, which involves communication.
0.69.
0.69. You are a winner. Therefore, Q hat is equal to 1 minus 0.69, which is point what? 31. What else do they give us? Somebody tell me, what else do they give us?
They give us a margin of error.
Margin of error is 2%, which is 0.02. And somebody give me the 94% confidence level Z-score.
$1.88.
1.88. All right, plug and chug, and that's your answer. Okay, we got 1 minute. We can do it. I'm going to let y'all do one homework question. Y'all should be able to do number 11. If you're not able to do number 11 after I've done all these for you, then you suck. N is equal to 0.69 times 0.31, 1.88 divided by 0.02 raised to the what? Second power. And we're going to take our handy dandy calculator out and clear and clear. 1.88 divided by 0.02 raised to the second power times 0.31 times 0.69. 1890.02. Which is 1891. So you go back to the handy dandy question. I'm going to leave that up for a couple of seconds. The reason I leave stuff up for a couple of seconds is just by chance a person uses the video, they can pause it or they can, take a picture of it. And 1891. Okay, so for everybody, you only have one homework question to do. And there it is. So I'm going to leave that on the board and you can write it down, but that's the only question technically y'all have to really work on because I just finished all your homework except for one question. And they want you to find the confidence interval. Looks like it. Yeah, because they give you N. N is equal to 2096. They want you to do a confidence interval, and basically they're going to say the something lies between you 95%. What is it? What confidence level do they give you? They don't give you a confidence level. A group conducted a poll of 2,096 likely voters just prior to an election. The results of the survey, which was 45% popular vote, so P is equal to 45.45. Okay. Yeah, they're going to want you to get a margin of error. I would assume a 90% confidence level. You might want to write that down. Let's see if that's what they do before we end. Okay, it doesn't have a help me solve this. I think they're going to assume a 90% confidence level. I think, wait a minute, I think this is just plain math. Yeah. Okay, 45% plus or minus 2%, and 43% plus or minus 2%. And then you just say what that means. Does the candidate win? Oh, what the heck? Might as well just do it. Now y'all don't have any homework except redo these questions. All right, for candidate A, %45 is your P hat. What's 45.45 plus 0.02? 0.47, Hubert. What's 0.45 minus 0.02? 0.43, Hubert. Thank you, class. For candidate B, there's supposed to be another D in there. P hat is what? Is it 43%? Okay, what's 0.43 plus 0.02? 45%. What's 0.43 minus 0.02? 41%. So is there anything overlapping here? Yeah, there's something overlapping, because 45 would be right in where? Where would 45 be? Right here. 45 would be right in here, and 41 would be right in here. So technically, this guy is within the margin of error of this guy, isn't it? And they want you to, what does that mean? That means that it's too close to what? If you've got this guy within the margin of error of this guy, what does that mean about the election? It's too close to call, probably. Which one of these says it's too close to call? This could be an answer. Since the polls do not show that one of the candidates has more than 50%, but that would fall to the rules of the precinct. I don't know if that's our answer, because that would be, that's not mathematical. That might fall to the rules of the precinct. And it doesn't say up here that they have to have 50% of the vote, does it? This right here, popular vote, that could mean the one with the most votes. So I'm not sure about A. Since the estimated proportions depend on the level of confidence, the candidate predicted to receive the greater percentage of the popular vote. So the poll for different levels of confidence. Since the difference between the percentages of popular is less than 12%, I don't know where they get that 12% from. I don't know about that. The margin of error suggests candidate A may receive between 43 and 47. There we go. And 41 and 45, because the poll's estimate overlap. I told you that. Then I'd say delta. That could be a test question. Okay, I've just done your homework for you. All right. It's been a pleasure for those 3 or 4 people that have talked to me. The rest of y'all suck. And I know you're thankful because you didn't end up as 27 people that dropped the course. Even though you weaned on a pickle, I know you're thankful. So you're welcome. And for those people that talk to me and have visuals, I hope y'all continued luck. And those of you that talk to me, continued luck. Those that are weaned on a pickle, I hope you enjoy your office with the mop, mop sink with the plyboard over it. Because unless you start communicating, that's where you're going to end up. Anybody got any questions? I do have one wish. I wish y'all would grant it. And that is, I wish y'all would go to Rate My Professor for all your instructors. All your instructors. And for future students, I wish you would go through and put in evaluations for your teachers. Okay? And I mean, be truthful. Professional, don't call your teacher stupid because that's not professional. Be professional and don't spell cat, K-A-T, okay? Please be professional, writing good sentences so that future students can actually ascertain whether you were a decent student or not that wrote this. Okay, so do that. That's my only wish. Does anybody have any questions? Like somebody's going to say something. Anyway, y'all have a good day. Good luck with the test. I will be here at the house. If you need something, just send me a team message or a text, and I'll team with you if you got a question. But you should have 9.1 homework in the bag since I just did it for you. Between today's class and last class, I did your homework for you. Anybody got anything they want to